Hey, welcome. So today we're going to dig into the tech that makes the modern web feel so instant and alive. Let's just jump right in.
You ever stop and wonder how you get chat messages the second they're sent? Or how you can see your friends' cursors moving in real time on a Google Doc? It's not magic, I promise. It's actually a huge shift in the way the web communicates.
And to really get why this is such a big deal, we have to take a quick look back at how things used to work. For a long time, the web was basically stuck playing a constant, frustrating waiting game.
The difference is pretty simple when you think about it. The old way, using standard HTTP, was a lot like sending postcards. Your browser had to keep asking the server again and again, anything new? Anything new yet? This whole process, this constant checking, was slow, super inefficient, and created just a ton of pointless network traffic. But the new way, with WebSockets, it's more like a live phone call. You open a direct line, and the conversation just flows back and forth, instantly. No more waiting around.
So this live phone call for the web is all thanks to a really brilliant piece of technology. Let's introduce the star of our show, the WebSocket API.
So what is a WebSocket really? Well, the official definition says it's an API for creating and managing a connection. But in plain English, it's the tool that lets a web browser and the server keep a communication channel propped open basically forever.
And here's the super clever part. A WebSocket doesn't just show up out of nowhere. It actually starts its life as a completely normal HTTP request, something all the existing web infrastructure like firewalls already knows how to handle. Then it does this special handshake to upgrade that exact same connection into this powerful two-way channel that we need for real-time communication. So smart.
Okay, so the line is open, we've established the connection, but how does the conversation actually work? How do we send stuff, and how do we even know if the other end is still listening? What's pretty amazing here is just how simple the controls are. If you want to talk, you just use the .send method. When you're done and want to hang up, you use .close. And if you need to check if the line is still good, you can just look at its .ready state. It gives us all the basic tools we need to manage this live conversation.
Just like any good conversation, a WebSocket connection has a clear life cycle. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And our app needs to know what to do at each of these stages.
So this whole life cycle has 4 main events we care about. First, there's the open event. That's when the phone call actually connects. Then you've got the message event, which fires every single time new information comes through. If something goes wrong, static on the line, you get an error. And finally, the close event tells you when the line's been disconnected.
And how do we know when these things are happening? It's really simple. Our code just listens for them using something called an add event listener. This is what lets our app react instantly, like to send a welcome message the second a connection opens, or to process data as soon as a new message lands.
Okay, that's enough theory. Let's actually see what this looks like in a real, simple piece of JavaScript.
Step 1 is always going to be this. You create a new WebSocket object. And notice the protocol there is WS for WebSocket, not HTTP. This one little line of code is what kicks off that whole handshake process we talked about to open the direct line. Next up, we need to know when it's actually safe to start talking. So we use that add event listener to listen for the open event. The code we put inside this function will only run after that connection is totally successfully established. And once that line is open, well, we talk. We just use the .send method to shoot our hello server message across the wire. It's really that easy. But of course, communication is a two-way street, right? So we also set up a listener for the message event. This function will run whenever the server sends something back to us, letting us process that incoming data. And just like that, we've got a full two-way conversation going. So we've seen the code, and hopefully the concept makes sense. But why does any of this really matter? What has this live phone call for the web actually given us? The answer is, well, it's pretty much everything that feels alive and instant on the web today. Every live chat, every online multiplayer game, every stock ticker that updates right on your screen, they all depend on this technology. It's the engine that powers collaborative tools like Google Docs, and it's the reason you get a notification the very second it happens. WebSockets truly changed the web from a bunch of static pages into a platform for real-time interaction. And you know what the best part is? This isn't some brand new experimental feature. WebSockets have been a standard, core part of all major browsers since way back in 2015. It's solid, it's reliable, and it's ready to go. So, at the end of the day, WebSockets took the web from a series of clunky, disconnected requests and turned it into a platform for a continuous,
real-time conversation. And that really just leaves us with one final exciting question. Now that the web can truly talk, what amazing things are we going to build with it next?